Hey guys, what's up? I hope that you are having a great week with your investments. So, I wanted to talk to you about this changing market, and it's crashing. We're all gonna die. No, I'm totally kidding. That is a joke. Do not try to twist me. So, with this change in the market, what the hell am I talking about exactly? So, to be completely honest, right, the government or whatever, however the hell funding works, I should have paid a little bit more attention in mortgage school, but so basically they're increasing their numbers, and in turn the lenders are increasing their numbers, and right now we're looking at like 5.2, 5.35 and going up interest rates, and it's absolutely crazy, right? So here's a fun thing. When I'm saying the market is changing, it's changing because that's what it was intended to do with this increase in the interest, right? So we're trying to combat that price and interest little balancing board that we have right now. Right now, price is like this, interest is like slowly coming up, right? So instead of completely like this, we're starting to do, right? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean there's no competition in the market, because don't get me wrong, I've been submitting offers all fucking week and I haven't gotten a single one accepted, and we've been going at asking or higher. So some locations, some properties are still fucking hot, but other ones, they're not. Actually, they're the quite opposite of that. They're staying on the market for even longer, and it's just starting to really become more balanced, I would say. If you were in the real estate markets before the seller's market and the prior buyer's market, then you know what I'm talking about. Inventory was so plentiful, and buyers were nowhere. We were literally giving away properties for like $25,000 less than whatever we were asking, right? And that's what we're starting to see in some areas and on some properties, which is amazing because I've been waiting for this. And it's great, right? But here's the thing. I have a lot of you guys still asking me, is it still a good time to buy? Should we wait? And the answer is, it depends on your financing power, right? So if you're a cash buyer, fucking wait it out a little bit, or just continue to buy. It doesn't really matter, because ultimately it's gonna come back to you. You're losing money by not having an investment right now. But also, if you wait a little bit, when the market finally goes more like this instead of this, then you'll also get a premium discount and maybe even a higher ROI. But then again, if the market's like this, we might see lower returns. So it might not actually necessarily be a good thing to wait. Now, if you are a borrower, you're lending, you're obtaining financing, you should be thinking about buying today, because as that interest rate starts going up, you're actually going to start making more payments to your lender on cheaper property. Now, this is what I mean. For example, let's just say for term's sake, we're putting 10% down on a property, and I don't know, we're doing a 30-year term, and the original purchase price 3 years ago was $500,000 at 3.25 interest, right? So with that being said, let's see, I have my little documents over here. With that being said, you would be putting in between, I want to say like $250,000 to $300,000 in your interest. I think it was like $277,000, right, for your interest over the term of 30 years with 10% down at 3.25% interest. Now, with, let's just say the market falls 10%, right? So the interest, instead of being that 3.25, is now 5.25, 3.5, those ranges where we are right now, right? You would end up buying the house for, let's say, 10% less, so $450,000, but then you would be paying more interest on it. So your interest would be, I don't know, like above 400, probably near like 411 if I'm guessing off the top of my head correctly. I have a chart here, but it doesn't show me the exact numbers. And then, right, let's say that there is a 20% fall in the market. So instead of paying $500,000, you're paying $400,000. And instead of paying 3.25% interest over the span of 30 years, you are now paying 7% interest. If that's the case, right, you would be paying almost $500,000 in interest over that term, which is absolutely fucking crazy. And your payments would be more every single month, just going off of your principal and interest, not considering any of your taxes or any of that, but it'd actually be more comparing the principal and interest. So keep this in mind, right? When you're like thinking about coming into this market, if you're going to be able to take advantage of like that value add sense, I would highly suggest that. Or if you're buying with cash, like everyone knows that cash is queen and king right now. So by all means, be aggressive, be aggressive, and be prepared for this market shift that's going to end up coming soon. Maybe not overnight, maybe not in a month, 2 months, 3 months, but it's definitely coming soon. And if you look online, you'll see that even banks are talking about it, which is like crazy. Because if you remember, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, banks were like, oh no, don't worry about it. And now they're like, oh shit, what the hell? Yeah, something might happen. Like, yes, we've all known that. If you've looked at history for the last, 100 or so years, you could see what has happened and how quickly it happened. It was like always anywhere from like 2 to 5 year spans with these like market shifts and then plummets and falls and corrections, whatever the hell you want to call it. So either way, it's going to end up being a complete wish-wash, kind of, sort of, because if you really think of it, right, as the prices of houses start to decrease, what happens is that you end up paying more money in interest to basically the gov and the banks and whoever else is creating that money for you to be able to go and spend. So the wish-wash comes in when we see that teeter-totter, that balance, right? But then instead of having the pricing right here, interest right here, like this, how it has been, it's going to go like this soon. And then it's going to start doing this, and then it's going to go like that. It's going to, just like a seesaw, those things. So, a balancing board. So how exactly, right, are we going to be able to implement this into our Airbnbs and our investments and stay strong through a potential new downfall that's ever looming in the near future? So a lot of me and my clients and customers and friends and family, we're basically prepping in the sense of just having multiple backup plans. So like if, the Airbnb market starts to go to trash, even though we're in a tourist location, how exactly are we going to stand out to beat the rest of the competition? How exactly are we going to basically make it so we are breaking even and making a profit still? Because if we have those higher payments and lower ROIs because the market's starting to, go like this and kind of go down with itself, how are we mediating that for ourselves and making it realistically doable without failing? Now, being able to ensure that you're already higher above the average ROI in the market right now is probably your safest bet. So going with a property that's just barely skimming that profit margin is not recommended at this time, because of the fact that you don't want to end up in a position where your payments are so unbearable that it's just chaos for you, and then you end up becoming indebted to this property that's supposed to be like basically an asset for you, instead of having that you end up having chaos and destruction and failure, right? Now, I do have some clients that did go through the last market crash, and I went through it as a kid. I wasn't in real estate then, but I do remember the implementations and ramification, all the fucking results of that shithole, because of the fact that I ended up homeless during that time. My family ended up getting affected by it, and a lot of fucking people did. So with all of us going through those time frames or being affected by it in some way, we've at least learned some basic knowledge on how to protect ourselves and really just become more aware of what's going on in the actual market. So making yourself stand out, making yourself different, making yourself a little bit more interesting in your Airbnb presence is going to be really essential during these times. Not going with properties that are too risky is very, very, very smart. really looking at the add value of a property, going with maybe a cheaper property that has more value that can be added into it. That's really smart. And then my buddy, you know who you are because you just sent this to me. You better be watching my video. Hold on. He just quoted somebody. Hold on. I have to find it. My internet's going super slow. Okay. So he sent me this quote, and I love it because it's true and I agree with it. So he sent me this. Interest rates are to the value of assets what gravity is to matter, Buffett said, right? Joking later that if I could reduce gravity's pull by about 80%, I'd be in the Tokyo Olympics jumping. Oh, goodness gracious. So, I mean, you know, the fact that even Warren Buffett is saying that interest and value are also synced up, that's pretty nominal considering his standpoint as well. So, I mean, it's inevitable. You know, all of us are preparing for it and can feel it on the horizon in the future. Maybe not tomorrow or in the next 6 months, but definitely soon and upcoming. You know, hopefully there isn't going to be a crash, but we are going to end up seeing a change. It's already happening, and I've already seen it. You know, the pool houses everybody wants still. So, of course, those when they're lower priced, everyone's going to go after them like canines to food. But, you know, for the most part, that's not the case. So guys, I hope that video helped you just a little bit become familiar with the market. If you have any questions, comments, or just wanted to chat about real estate and investments, feel free to call, text, or email me. My phone number is 201-952-4665. My email is broker@localpmc.com. I'm a licensed real estate broker and property manager. I own the company here, and I'm happy to help you guys with any of your investments over here, help you buy the property, help you figure out just the gist of it and kind of figure out what you want to do with the property maybe you have here that you are just sitting on. So again, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'll be here for you guys always. Bye, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Make some money, honey. Bye.